Launching on November 1st, we have Patria Libre, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 30 to 60 minutes to play. And this is a game that focuses on the independence of Mexico, and players are going to be playing over 3 different eras, and they're going to play as one of 2 main factions, either the insurgents who want to separate from Spain, or the royalists who want to prevent that from happening. There's also a third military faction, and this type of unit can actually alternate between the 2 different sides. And players are going to be using a really neat action selection mechanism to try and get the upper hand against their opponent and win the game. Players are going to be using those actions to try and gain victory points, but also try to gain control over different regions of the map. And in order to perform those actions, they're going to be using double-sided order tokens, and those are going to be reused throughout the game. And the double-sided aspect of these order tokens is what makes the action selection so interesting in this game, because once you have them out in front of you, you can't flip them unless you want to use up an entire turn in order to flip some of your action tokens to the other side. So you're going to really want to make sure that the actions you want to use are the ones that you have face up at the start of your round. Players are going to be putting these order tokens out onto the board to perform different actions, but then they're going to be retrieving them at the end of the round to use them again in the following round. And some of the different actions that these order tokens provide are to deploy or move your infantry, build fortifications, gain coins, attack opponents in the same region, or gain popularity. And popularity is a really interesting resource because you'll be spending it throughout the game to move your popularity tokens up and down 3 different tracks in order to upgrade your abilities throughout the game in 3 different areas. Players can also purchase these circular cards here that you can see at the bottom of the screen, and those are going to allow players to change what their order token does when they deploy it out on the board. And the action of that card is used in place of whatever ability is on the token itself. So if you ever end up with an order token that you don't really want to use, you can change its action by applying one of these cards when you go to deploy it. And players can perform one action on their turn. They can either choose to activate an order token by putting it out on the board, or they can activate a card with the order token like I had just mentioned, or instead they can recover their deployed order tokens that are already placed out on the map. And of course, the last action they can perform is to flip any of their order tokens by placing the action that they want to use face up. As players progress through the 3 different eras, they're also going to be revealing event cards that relate to those different eras, and these are going to cause some game-changing effects for the players to contend with, but they can also reward VP to any players that are able to meet certain requirements of those cards during that round. And the game can be played in 4 different modes of play. You can either play 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 2, or you can play a 3-player mode where 1 player is playing as that military faction, or you could play solo. The game also has a few different win conditions. You can either be the first to reach 30 victory points, or be 10 points ahead of all other players, or control at least 3 of the different provinces. And if neither of these are reached by the time that the final event card is revealed, then the player with the most victory points wins the game.